Good morning, my friends, and happy Monday or whenever you are joining us, because remember, home can be done whenever is most convenient for you. And I want to begin by telling you all my inspiration for this 5-day series. I have never understood this time of year as a human being, I have to be honest with you. Think about the clothing that you choose to wear, especially if you live in a cold climate. We're opting for a lot of layers, things that warm us from close to our skin outwards, maybe a lot of natural fibers, thick natural fibers, like the wool sweater I have over my shoulders right now. And the food that you tend to eat in the winter time tends to be heartier, more filling, things like soups and stews and homemade breads, things that just make our bellies feel full for the hibernation of winter. If you live close to a body of water, like a pond or a stream, a river, or a lake in these cold temperatures, everything freezes over and becomes a little bit more still and a little bit more quiet. And then of course, the animals go down for hibernation. You know, I live in bear country, I live in Vermont, and we have black bears everywhere, and they are all down for hibernation right now. Yet somewhere along the lines in January, the human race decided, let's actually use January 1 as not an opportunity for rebirth, because that's not really where we have taken it. We have taken it down this dangerous road of feeling really guilty for maybe moving out of a routine throughout the holidays and feeling badly about ourselves. And so therefore, all of these industries, the health and wellness industry, the movement industry, is like, how can we prey on these people's insecurities further? But if we look at what's happening in nature, in the universe, this time of year is a time to burrow, a time to nest, a time to feel even safer within your body because of the long, cold winter. And so if you have found yourself being confused and really maybe not understanding, well, why does the rest of the human race feel like it wants to go so fast, but I want to burrow, I want to feel really safe within my system? Just remember that we are not a separation from nature. We are a part of nature. So it is 100% natural to feel like you want to come home this time of year. And home is within your body. It's within the physical space. Home is also the people that we choose to share it with. And so over the next 5 days, we are going to be really nourishing our body inside and out through motion. So I want you to think of really catering and loving on your joints, your bones, your muscles, your blood, your connective tissue, your lymphatic system, your cardiovascular system, your nervous system, while also really being given this opportunity to connect with people who feel like they are on the same wavelength as you. And if you ask me, given, whether you are brand new to range or you have been on range for years at this point, what we are all really craving is this like collective hum of humans that just want to feel home in here, and I'm tapping on my chest, but also here within your physical spaces, within your communities. So we are going to begin home day 1 with the Origin 30. Which is the most grounding of our class formats. If you are brand new, think about like a mat Pilates style of class, because I am first and foremost, I began my career as a stop Pilates instructor, but with a real care for your joints, love for your nervous system. And hopefully you have candles around you, you have coffee or tea, you're wearing breathable, lovable clothing that allows your body to both expand and contract. And we are going to begin with our feet underneath us with a very subtle bounce, which is how you will find we begin quite a lot of classes. A bounce is something that is primal. Our nervous system loves a bounce, a shake, or a reverberation because it allows us to enter a little bit more of this parasympathetic response right from the beginning. Maybe bringing some hands onto your chest, just saying like, hi, I'm in there. There's a soul in there. There's a human being in there, not just a body with muscles. There is a person in there. And then when you're ready, you can pause the bounce, stretch the arms out east to west really wide, and then wrap yourself in a really nice big warm hug. Now it's like you're in a cocoon. You're gonna bend your knees, round your spine, soften the body as you head downwards towards the floor and then press through the feet as you stand up tall and lift the chest. Allow the body to expand and yawn awake. Rebend, soften the joints as you round the spine. And then press through the feet, spread wide through the toes as you stand up tall and lift your chest. Bend your knees, round your spine. Press through the feet, standing it all the way on up and lifting your chest upwards. And then when you're ready, you're going to round the spine down like a little cocoon. Allow the hands to come down to the ground and the knees to come down to the ground so that you're in an all fours position. Now we're going to begin with a couple of shoulder circles, just like wheels on a train. So just allow the shoulders to come upwards towards the ears, and then they pull inwards towards each other, which is called retraction. They draw down your shoulders, and then they push, which is called protraction. Beginning to feel each fingertip in your palms as like the root systems of a tree. If you are new here, you will find that I tend to bring our relationship of our bodies back to the natural world as often as I can. Let's reverse that circle. So your shoulders, your spine in this motion might be like the branches of the tree, but your arms, your fingers are the roots, which deliver all of the nutrients up the tree. So think of an active palm, active fingertips. Last time here. Then when you're ready, you're gonna come down onto your forearms and tuck your toes underneath you. Feel the bottom of your feet breathing and expanding. The ribs are nice and supported as if you're receiving a warm hug from behind as you float the knees up to a little 1 to 2 inch hover and then lower them back down to the ground and the belly expands. Exhale, knees lift to a hover. Inhale, they lower. Exhale. Inhale. So as it relates to those roots, the fingers, the palms, and the forearms, and your toes, all of the physical parts of you that are touching the ground are supporting you. They're your structural integrity. Press down through them, and then the rest of the body rises. Exhale, last 2, feeling the neck long. Last time, you're gonna float the knees up to a hover and pause. Now the shoulders come towards each other and then push away from each other. So it's retraction and protraction. The shoulder blades glide in towards each other and then push. You'll feel your quads, your core, your shoulders coming alive. Last 2. Last time. Push those knees, come down, sit on your feet for a moment, or you can fully kneel. Reach the arms up, draw the elbows down the body, and expand the chest. The arms reach forward, and you round your spine like a little cocoon again. Then the arms lift up, the elbows draw down the body, and you extend the spine. Round the spine, send the fingertips forward. And then draw the elbows down your back as you lift the chest, just to deliver a little bit of movement, hydration for the spine and for the shoulders. Then when you're ready, you come back down onto those forearms, those active roots through the forearms, the hands, the fingers, the toes, as you float the knees up to that hover again. Inhale, knees down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, knees down, belly expands. And then as you exhale, it's like you're wrapping the rib cage, again, like you're receiving a warm hug to feel heat and connection within the core, which is everything between your neck and the bottom of your pelvis. 3 more. Exhale, push. Last 2, feeling the shoulders over the elbows to the best of your ability. Last time. Knees come down to the ground, sitting on your feet or a full kneel. Reach the arms up, draw the elbows down your back, and allow the body to yawn and extend open. Send the arms forward, round the spine. Lift the arms, extend the spine, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, round. And when you're ready, now you come onto your hands. Now I'm gonna have my knees slightly separated, but my toes kissing. So there's like a little diamond within the feet. So you're gonna tuck the toes underneath you again. And now float the knees up to a hover, they're slightly turned out. Now the knees pull inwards towards each other so the inner thighs kiss. And then allow the knees to separate. Exhale. Inhale. You're maintaining a soft, energetic bend of the elbows. And again, those palms press inward to the ground. Exhale, draw the knees inwards towards each other and then separate. So you'll feel your inner thighs and your quads beginning to feel invigorated. The upper body feeling that heat. The structural support of your core. The tailbone lengthening back behind you. Last 2. Last time. Those knees come down. I still have them turned out like a diamond. Now you're gonna lift and reach the arms up towards the sky. Now side bend down to the right, so the right fingertips reach down to the ground, and then up, and then over to the left. And up. 2 more. 2. Feel free to roll out your wrists. Create any motion that feels right for you. Before you bring those hands back down, I'll do this time facing towards you. The knees are apart, the heels are kissing. As you float the knees up to that hover, then the knees draw inwards and then separate. A little internal rotation of the hip joint and then external rotation. Internal, external. Feeling the tailbone lengthening long back behind you as if your butthole is breathing. That is a cue that we talk about a lot here on Range. We have a sense of humor here. Allow the butt to breathe and expand open. 2 and 1. When you're ready, those knees come down. Lift those arms on up. Side bend to the right. Feel the flush through the left rib cage, left lung. And then lift. And then over to the left. And lift. Last 2 here. 2 and 1. Now when you're ready, we are going to come down onto our right forearm and right hip. Now your left leg is going to bend and you place the foot to the ground. Your right foot is gonna tuck underneath your ankle. See that shape? So here's my right foot in front of me, I'm gonna tuck it underneath me. Now you're gonna root down through everything that's touching the ground. You're gonna press down and you're gonna lift the shape on up. Now the bottom right knee begins to lift and lower. So the chest, the ribs, and the pelvis, those bony landmarks point forward, and there is this spiral of that right inner thigh living within the hip joint, rotating upwards and downwards. Exhale, root down through that right forearm, and then expand back down. Exhale. Inhale. So this is an adaptation of something called a Copenhagen plank. So building all of this beautiful structural support and safety through the abdominal wall, through the three-dimensional core, while building this relationship into your adductors, your inner thighs. Last 3. And always know that you can limit and adjust the amount of repetitions always. Last time here. When you're ready, you simply come down now onto that right hand. So we give the shoulder a wee breather. The legs elongate and they're about 1 inch in front of you. Now I'm gonna rock my pelvis back so that I am on the fleshy, meaty, hardy part of my right hip. It also helps if you have a little bit of a blanket or a pillow or something underneath your hip if you feel particularly sensitive. Now the legs, both of them, softly open and close. So it's not just the bottom leg, it is the top leg as well. They expand, they breathe away from each other, and then they gather. Now that concept of root systems of a tree is not a different part of this. It's living here, this time within the outside of your right tricep, within the right armpit region. So think of pressing down through the things that are touching the ground, and then you grow upwards from there. Inhale. Exhale. So you'll not only begin to feel this communication in your heat within your inner thighs, but what can you feel communicating up through the belly, across through both sides of your waist? 4, 3, 2. When you're ready, can you find a moment to pause, feeling this energy from the toes, circulating up through the head and back down through the toes? 4, 3, 2, and 1. When you're ready, we swivel over to the other side so that your left forearm comes down to the ground. Now your right knee is bent like so, and you're gonna tuck your left ankle underneath you. See, like this little threading action. Elbow underneath the shoulder, that's just a rough guideline. And then you're gonna root down to lift your shape on up. Now that left bottom leg begins to lift and lower. The shoulders, the ribs, the pelvis continues to point forward as that left hip joint spirals internally and externally. Now your range of motion of your hips is completely unique to you. So if you find that your left leg barely hovers over the ground, that is perfect. We are not here to judge our shapes, and certainly never to compare your body to mine, because I am one body amongst billions, and so are you. We will never be the same. Whoop, little wobble. 3, we love those here. Exhale, last 2. And 1. And when you're ready, we come down to the ground, resting and kind of just feeling this support onto our left bottom hand. Now the legs come ever so slightly in front of you, but I'm gonna rock back just a smidge so that I'm on the meaty, fleshy, hardy part of the left hip. And both legs begin to open and then adduct or close. Feeling energy of the quadriceps, lifting the kneecaps up. So the whole body is living and breathing. Once again, establishing this root system of your left tricep and armpit, pressing downwards into the ground, which gives you this support for the rest of the body to elevate and to feel the support upwards, away from the ground. 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now pause. See if you can allow the throat to open. The body to soften even within this isometric shape. 3, 3, 2, 1. We're coming back into an all fours position. Now our left leg is going to lengthen back behind us. We're supporting the ribs again as if we're receiving a warm hug from behind, rather than allowing ourselves to just kind of be passive within an extension. You're pressing the hands into the ground, supporting the ribs. Now the left leg is going to travel, tap to the left side of the body, then lift and tap to the right side of the body. So this is probably a motion that a lot of you are quite familiar with. But as you allow that left hip joint to explore, left and then right, can you for right now just feel like the trunk of your body from your tailbone out through the head is stable, like there's no wind. So as your left leg moves through space, can we hold on to the shape of the spine? Just to kind of feel what that feels like within the body. But we are human, and humans make organic, flowing shapes. So as you continue through this motion, as the leg goes left, maybe you look towards the foot, and then look towards the foot in the other direction. And as your eye gaze moves, notice how your ribs and your shoulders naturally move with the motion. It's like you're water, and you're creating a current through the body that it's like, oh, that left side just can't just be the leg. Can you allow the ribs and the shoulders to move? Now make it even a little bit more undone, a little bit more organic. Don't be afraid to let the elbows bend, the shoulders to rise. Now, as you're continuing, anybody feel some real heat within their bottom right glute? Again, it's like the root system of the tree. Never gets any glory. The branches, the leaves do. But it's the root of the tree that delivers all of the nutrients. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we come back onto that right forearm, right hip, elbow underneath the shoulder. Now, right side is still your root system. You're gonna lift on up and allow that left leg to lift and then lower. Exhale, lift and lower. So now, rather than the focus of attention being on the adductors, that midline inner thigh connection, now it's to the outside, to the AB, abductors. Now, I'm going to begin to add in some rotation of the spine because we're humans. We love rotation. We need rotation. So as you lift the shape up, can you rotate down to the right? As you lower, maybe you spiral the ribs up to the sky a bit. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Just 8 more. 8, 7, 6. Allow the ribs to feel like water. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sitting down, just allowing yourself to come upright. That right arm lifts up and you deliver that hydration, that wash through that right side. Which brings us back into our all fours position. But this time that right leg reaches back. There's that structural support of your hands. The leg begins to move to a right diagonal, then lifts and across to the left diagonal. And as we're beginning, can we feel that quiet, still control of your trunk from the tailbone all the way out through the crown of the head? A subtle push through the arms so that your shoulders have support, so that the wrists have support. But humans make organic shapes. We are not machine. Despite the fact what the movement industry wants to tell us about ourselves, we are not mechanical. So when you're ready, just begin to undo the shape a bit. And maybe begin to look at your right toes high, and then across, hello again. And notice how it has this ripple effect, this translation up to the sides of the ribs, up to the shoulders. And then you might become a little acutely aware of some heat building within your left hip. Now I always turn myself around so that you see the front side of me, but I'm actually gonna do that little side plank for your abductors with my back facing towards you so that you can see a little bit of that spinal view, if that's helpful. Again, begin to allow the shape to undo a bit. Allow the ribs to wiggle, the shoulders to move, maybe the elbows bend. It's human. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and when you're ready, your left forearm and left hip, you're gonna get a nice view of my butt. All right, so the feet pull close to the body. You root down through the things that are physically touching the ground, and you root down, press down through that left outer hip and shin, lift, maybe that right leg lifts, or maybe it stays down. You listen to your body's internal cues. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. But because bodies love to rotate, the next time that you lift, maybe press your right hand to the ground, allow the ribs to spiral downwards and then upwards as you land. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Maybe make a sigh through your body so that your throat can remain open. Closing off your throat will not just close off your throat. Your diaphragm, that main muscle of respiration, will feel that pressure. Same with your belly, same with your pelvic floor. Make whatever noises through your body that feel good for you, maybe a hum or a buzz. Last 2, oi. One more, maybe a laugh, oi. And then you stay sitting, that left arm just reaches up and you side bend over. Take a moment, sitting with your soles of your feet together if that feels accessible. Roll out your wrists for a moment. And then send the arms either in front of you or they can be touch points behind you. Maybe we'll start there. And the left knee comes on top of the right and then opens, and then the right knee goes on top of the left and then opens. Now, if this feels incredibly accessible to you, maybe you bring the hands off and just allow those hips to hydrate. Whatever other shapes naturally occur within your body, naturally occur within your body. Now I'm gonna add in a little rotation. So as my legs fall to the right, I'm gonna rotate a bit to the left. And then as they go to the left, I'm gonna rotate a bit to the right. Arms can be interpretive. Do whatever feels best for them. Two more. Then the hands are gonna come back behind us. We are almost done. So when you're ready, your hands come back behind you. Now for those of you that might feel fatigue within your wrist, you're building up strength of this relationship with your wrist joints, you might wanna keep your bums down because we are going for a tricep dip like so. So this is a really wonderful wrist and shoulder friendly option of keeping your bum down. Feel the ribs on top of the pelvis to the best of your ability. This energetic push into the ground as you float the knees up to a hover. And if you had a little trickle of sweat, maybe you do, right in between your chest, it would just roll right down to the pubic bone. As you bend and press your triceps, just 3 more. Just 2 more. Just one more. Push, the bum comes down. The legs fall to your right. You lift the hips and yawn the body awake. We come back down to the ground. The hands come back behind us. We lift the bum or keep the bum down as we bend and press, maintaining this with the sense of pride across the chest. 2 more. 1 more. As the bum settles down, the legs fall to the left. You lift the hips on up and yawn the body awake. Open, expansive. Bringing the hips back down. The toes point forward, the hips lift or they stay down. 4, press. 3, 2, 1. Those hips go down. Knees fall to the right. Expand the body open. Bring it down. Feet come forward. Lift the hips or keep them down. But rather than how big your range of motion, can you think of really wide open collarbones? Last 2. Last 1. Those hips come down. The legs fall to the left. You yawn the body open. You come back down to the center and you roll yourself over into one more all fours position before lifting your hips up to feel your hamstrings breathe. The hands walk inwards towards your feet. You're gonna roll it on up to standing and reach the arms up overhead. Now, when you're ready, you're gonna drop the right arm, bend your knees, reach down to the ground, and then lift. And do the same thing on the other side. It's totally human. Guarantee you do something that looks like this every single day. Drop the left arm down, reach, and up. Letting the joints of the lower body move in a truly human way. Same with the spine. You know, neutral has its place. It totally does. And when we go into our weighted work on Tuesday and Thursday and we're applying heavier load into our body, we'll share why. But life lives outside of neutral. Our bodies are filled with organic shapes. We are biomorphic, a part of nature, not machine. Last time. And we go back into that subtle bounce. Allow the body to just expand. And then when you're ready, you simply find a squat. Maybe reaching the arms forward or down to the knees. Supporting the ribs, feeling expansion into the backs of the glutes. Now feeling the heat within your legs, you're gonna cocoon the spine down in between your legs. And then roll the spine up and allow it to arch a bit. Round your spine. And then roll and undulate upwards. That inner thigh, that outer hip support that we built is now living and existing inside of this squat, which we will see a lot more squats on Wednesday within the foundation. 2 more. Last time. Round the spine, lift the legs. Feel the energy, the vibration of your legs before sending the arms out and wrapping yourself in a nice big warm hug like you're coming home to yourself, to your body. And then when you're ready, we spiral. So you allow your body to make this orbit around yourself. This is the motion that we finish classes with. It's the motion that inspired the range logo. Everything in nature is a spiral. You too. Reverse it. softness within your system, a little bit of invigorating warmth, but not too much. So we have 5 days ahead of ourselves, and we're making this sustainable so that we want to do it again and again and again and come back home to ourselves every day. So with that, just take a moment to pause to feel the warmth of your skin. And then you'll send the arms out and up. And give yourself one mighty big inhale, breath in together. And then exhale, soften, let it go, let it leave your system.